Hi, it's Stephen here from Sign of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 14 of the May daily draws. So let's see what message we get today. I'll be taking the first card from the Druidcraft Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane oracles. Let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. Hanged Man. So this is the Hanged Man. This is about changing perspective, doing what we need to do to perhaps to get to that place where we can focus and see things perhaps from a different viewpoint. It's pausing, that recognizing that maybe the way that we're viewing something isn't working at the moment, and we need to change the way we approach it. And we may need to take the time, the space, to gain that new perspective. It does tie in with yesterday's Six of Swords, with the journey of the mind, moving to calmer, clearer waters of the mind, getting that clarity and focus that we need. And it could be, part of that could be gaining this new perspective that the Hanged Man represents. So it's taking a moment. Is there a different way to look at this? Whatever the situation we have, whatever the situation we're in, is there a different way that we can approach this? Because if the way that we're doing it at the moment isn't working, if we're not seeing what we need to see, we need to move our viewpoint so that we can perhaps see it. Even if it just needs adjusting just a little, we need to see things from a different point of view, perhaps. Maybe we're being too narrow in our thinking, and we need to broaden it a little. Maybe even ask somebody else for their viewpoint that may differ from ours, but it might, and listen to the merits of what they're saying, because they may say something that you haven't considered. Part of gaining this new perspective is going away from your familiar way of thinking. And that can be uncomfortable. And part of the Hanged Man is to do what needs to be done, even if it is uncomfortable, and get an acceptance of that. Coming to an acceptance that you need to change your perspective. Once you make your peace with that, and open yourself up to it, then that's when, the light comes in. That's when the guidance comes in. That's where the clarity and new information can come in that will help. So the Hanged Man would say to us today is, be prepared to see things from a different point of view, different to what your usual way of thinking, your usual way of approaching something. Consider trying and thinking something different. Maybe there's something that hasn't occurred to you yet, that's just waiting to be seen. It's like if you're standing in front of a tree and there's something right behind the tree. This is an illustration I use often with the changing perspective situation, is if you're standing directly in front of a tree and there's something behind the tree, but you can't see it. It's there, but you can't see it because of where you're standing, because you're right in level, and obviously it's hidden by the tree. But if you even take a couple of steps one way or the other, then you may begin to see at least part of what's behind the tree, because the angle of your viewpoint has shifted sufficiently for you to see at least part of what's there, and has been there all the time, that you just didn't see it because you weren't looking at it the right way. So that may be all that's required, just a couple of steps worth of adjustment in your thinking, and then you will see what you need to see and be able to perhaps have a light bulb moment. Something will dawn on you all of a sudden, and you'll think, of course, why didn't I realize that before? I never thought of it that way. Things like that may come out of your mouth when you have these moments. So, and what have you got to lose? Because if what you're doing now isn't working for you, what have you got to lose by being open to changing the way you're looking at it? So that's what the Hangman would suggest to us today. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Here we go. The bee. This is actually very fitting. So I wondered how the bee would be relevant, but if you look at if you read the message underneath, it says, "Don't drink all of life from one flower, for there are many to taste and many to explore." So there's not just one way to look at things. Don't drink all of life from one flower. Don't. This is about diversity of thought and thinking. This is, for there are many to taste, many different viewpoints, opinions, ways of looking at things, many to explore. You're not just going to take them on blindly. You're going to explore them and see, if it resonates with you. You're not just going to blindly just change your mind to something that you've not thought about. But it's that willingness to try something new, and not just keep going to the same thing from almost like the bee going to the same flower all the time. It may be the time to move around to gain better perspective, as we've been talking about. And that, I believe, is the message of the cards today. So that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 15. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.